Hi, welcome back. Regitze Simonsen here. So today I want to talk about or set the right expectations and talk about what does it really take to get 10k to 10k per month, or at least to get to get two new clients per month. So there's basically 6 methods of getting clients. So there's inbound, which is content where you're creating content and people start to message you because they want to work with you or they want to learn more at least. This method takes time. It takes a long time to build up a brand so that people will come to you. It's not something that happens with the first post you make. This can be at least a couple of years of making good content almost every day, or at least on a consistent basis. And then there's referrals, and this really requires that you have people who can refer other people to you, so that you had clients in the past that can either send people to you or come back to you. So it's more like recurring revenue. So that doesn't work if we're just starting out. And then there's the cold outreach, which is one of the methods that we are using. The method that you can use to get clients right away in your business. There's different kind of cold outreach you can do. There's cold email, cold DM, and cold calls. And which method that you choose depends on where your ideal client is, where you can find your ideal client. Is your ideal client on emails? It also depends on, does your ideal client check their emails? And can you find their emails? For instance, if on most coaches, it can be difficult to find their clients' emails. So that's not a good method for coaches, for most coaches. Then there's cold DM. That's what we're doing. That requires that you can find your ideal client on social media, which is usually the case for clients, for coaches. So it can be different platforms. It can be Facebook. Almost everybody can use Facebook, more or less. Then there's LinkedIn. That's more for business-oriented people who are looking for people or clients in the business world, or corporate world also. And then there's other social media. There's Instagram also. That's more for if you have a more visual brand, or fitness, or nutrition, or stuff like that. And then there's also cold call, which requires that we can find people's telephone number, and also requires that they would be answering their phone if we call them. It can be difficult to find people's telephone number. That's more for brick and mortar businesses maybe. So the method that works best for coaches is finding people on social media and contacting them there. So it's a cold DM. Then we also have paid ads. We can also get clients with paid ads, but that usually requires that you already have a proven offer. It's not a good way to start out when you're fresh, when you're new, when you have a new business, because if you are using paid ads and you don't have a proven offer and a proven message, you're going to be testing different methods and different ways to reach your clients or your ideal client with paid ads, which can end up costing a lot of money. So that's more for a little bit more scaling strategy. It's more for a little bit more advanced businesses. So the best way and the fastest way to get clients as a new coach is with the cold DMs. And if you have time, also do some content where you can message everybody who reacts to your content. So it's a kind of a middle ground where you're doing content and then contacting the people who are reacting, who are liking and commenting on your posts. But it's usually not enough to only do that. To be reaching enough people, you have to also reach people who are not engaging with your content. Because to break it down, how to get 2 new clients per month, And then of course if you reach $10,000, it depends on the price of your program. But let's say that you send out 100 DMs per day, that you contact 100 new people every day. And what you can expect is around a 1% booking rate. So some people will respond, not everybody, maybe 10% or so will respond. Then you have to also do a lot of follow-up, because most people won't respond right away, but if you do a lot of follow-up, they may respond. So we have to do at least 7 or 8 follow-ups before we stop, unless people tell us to stop. So with 100 DMs per day, then you can expect maybe a 1% booking rate, which is low, but let's just start out with a low conversion rate, a low booking rate, because it's always better to have a positive surprise. So with 100 DMs per day, then you get 1 booking per day, and let's say you only work 5 days per week, so you're actually not overworking yourself. You can take the weekend off. So that ends up then in 5 bookings per week. So that's 20 calls per month. And then you have the sales calls. So if we take a 10% conversion rate, which is also very low, but if we're just starting out, we're maybe not that good at sales, and not everybody will show up. So if we take a 10% conversion rate, usually the normal conversion rate is 15 to 20, and this you will also improve over time. So with a 10% conversion rate, and you have 20 calls, then you have two new clients per month. So then, of course, your the money that you earn depends on the price point of your product. But also, if you want to get more than 2 clients per month, if you send out 200 DMs per day, then you will get 4 clients per month. So that's how you can calculate it, and you can break it down. And then it's important to track everything. So we can't rely on just thinking that, oh, I probably send 100 messages today, because we can't rely on our feelings. That way you can easily get discouraged, because if you feel like you have been doing a lot, and nothing is happening, no people are responding, you're not getting bookings, then you might give up. But if you keep a track of it, if you write down how many you actually sent, then you may see that you haven't been doing as much as you thought. And also it's much easier to keep track of the bookings or the messages who you've been sending out to, so that you can follow up with them, because follow-up is the most important way to get bookings. So we have to do at least 7 and 8 follow-ups if people allow us. So therefore it's very important to keep track of who we have been following up with, how many times, and also who we've been sending the link to, because a lot of people, or some people may say, yeah, okay, I'm interested, we can have a call, and then you send them your Calendly link, but then they don't book. Then you have to follow up again and make sure that they book. They forget it, or something came up or so. So you have to be following up with that too. So therefore it's very important to keep track of it. And also if you are sending out a message, the same message or same kind of message, I mean, we don't use copy-paste messages, but the same kind of offer, then and nobody is responding, then you might feel like, oh, I want to change it, but we shouldn't change anything until we have sent out at least 200 messages with the same offer, because otherwise you don't have enough data to validate if it's good or not. So that's why we also have to track things. So send out 200 messages with the same kind of offer before you change anything, and then you can make changes to it. But if we change everything every day, then you don't know what's working. You don't know which message that would work good, because you might get some positive responses, and you you forget which way. Well, you can see it in DMs, but if you're sending voice and video messages, then you have to listen back to everything that you say. So keep it consistent. It's a better way to grow your business. So that once you find something that works, then you can outsource it to an appointment setter, for instance. So that's also why you need to know exactly what works. So you need to be tracking everything. And so if you have to send 100 DMs per day, it may feel overwhelming, but it becomes easier the more you do it. But also, it's not that overwhelming if you stop doing a lot of other things. So all you need to do to grow your business is to get bookings, do the sales calls, and taking care of your clients when you get that. So forget about everything else, like building your website or making a logo or doing some branding or stuff on your social media. Those things are not important in the beginning. The most important thing is to talk to people, get to know them, and find people who need your help and get to talk to them on the phone and get bookings, learn sales, and then get clients and then learn how to also do fulfillment. So do the coaching, solve the problem that you want to solve for your clients. Those are the most important things. Then everything else comes second. And therefore, so if you stop doing all the other things, then you have more time for the important stuff. So I hope this was helpful because it's very important to have the right expectations so that you don't give up, because the only way that you can really fail in business is if you give up. We have to make changes in business to find out what works, but not too often. Because if you make changes all the time, then it becomes a mess and you don't know what works and what doesn't work. So it has to be very strategic, which is why tracking is very important. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.